Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27. We are going to conclude the first season of the RXFL. We're going to give you a look at all the kind of scenarios that's been going down, the retirements, the signings, everything. We're going to go through free agency. We'll simulate through. We'll get you previewed, and we'll give you a look at week 1 of season 2 in the RXFL. Now, it's going to be a couple months from now, the next season of the RXFL. We're going to take a brief break from it, but I want to, while we had the game up and running, I wanted to kind of give you guys a look. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, as always. If you want to see Season 2 of the RXFL come back sooner than I'm expecting it to come back, sign up as an Ultra fan, and when your month comes up, request, I want to see the RXFL, and you'll get that action. So we're in the off-season here, and we're going to give a look at everything that we got going on. If you want to get a little exclusive behind the scenes, join us over at our Patreon page, as we just said, patreon.com/tvsports27, because we had to go through and we had to edit some of the teams. We had to edit some auto stuff in the settings, and as we went through one team, we kind of went through my thoughts on what's going to happen when we go to the newer Madden, whether it be Madden 24 or Madden 25. If you want to get those thoughts, sign up at Patreon, because that is an exclusive right over there that we had for you guys. So let's go look at some news real quick. I don't think anything big on the news, so we are going to jump into the transactions because we had quite a few big ones and we had some retirements. So we're going to start with signed players, I suppose, and just see. I don't think anything that kind of jumps out. Just you can kind of see with what kind of names were signed, and unlimited free agency as well. There's no salary cap, so players and teams can just spend whatever the heck they want. And you can just kind of see Herm Edwards. I might just stop if there's a big name. Earl Morrall coming back. You know, he had a Super Bowl. He was a starting quarterback for Super Bowl III. So actually, when I say signed, was he on the team as a backup or not? I don't know if he was. So I don't know if he's replacing Tony Romo or anything like that, but he may have just been a signing of someone that got released. So Earl Morrall coming in there. Let's see if we got any other names that kind of jump out to us as far as signings go. Jim McMahon to the Lumberjacks. So originally they had Cam Newton, as the backup. So Jim McMahon now moving over to the Lumberjacks as well. And we'll see Boobie Williams. Of course, the wide receivers getting signed there. Frank Wycheck going to the Redwoods. Any kind of quarterbacks are always going to jump out at you. Tony Dorsett going to the Wolverines. That's pretty big. And that's a pretty sizable contract. So you got a lot of only 2-year deals as well in here. So you got Barry Sanders, Todd Gurley, and now Tony Dorsett on that squad there. Let's see what else we got down the line. Nothing really jumping out. We got Priest Holmes going to Tampa. Doak Walker, the old Doak Walker Award, he's going. And John Kelly as well. So they're picking up the halfbacks. I don't know how they can all manage to make on the roster. You can obviously slow this down if you're watching on YouTube and kind of see Bo Scarborough going to the Dallas Desperados. John Brody also signing with the Dallas Desperados, and Clinton Portis. How about that name? That's a little blast from the past. Julian Fitzsimmons signing. Clay Matthews, is he a kicker? He's a kicker now with the LA Kiss. They're putting him in there. Trent Green signing with the Tennessee Oilers. They had some quarterback conundrums, and not maybe looking to release Kurt Warner or something if he ended up getting benched, and they ended up going with Jim Plunkett for the remainder of the season. Some punters getting signed here. Wide receivers. Craig Morton. Even Craig Morton be okay. He's going to the Aviators, and Dave Craig. So, wow, the Aviators stocking up. We'll see if there are any releases or retirements that we need to know of there, but they are stocking up as far as quarterbacks go. Timmy Cooper there. Michael Jackson. Lawyer Malloy, another run in New England. Cadillac Williams to the Wizards. Curtis Clayton as well to the Wizards. Winbush, he's going back. He's actually, I thought that was the Wizards. He's going up north. Previously played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fuzzy. John Carney. He's returning to the site of his greatest shank. Returning to North Florida with the Cheetahs. All right, so there's a look, kind of the signings there. I want to just kind of blow through the rest of them pretty quick. Jake Delhomme going to the Dirty Birds. You know, Tom Brady getting up there in age. We'll see if he retires. So they're picking up Delhomme, who Brady dueled with in a Super Bowl in years past. So that could be a possibility there. Janikowski going to Dublin. Kurt Warner as well. The running back, Kurt Warner. Damon Mix. So we kind of started Steve Bartkowski. Maybe Bartkowski could be overtaking Aaron Rodgers for the starting job there. Bernie Kosar going to the Elks. Say any big names for this is probably the biggest disappointment. Mike Allstott, that's a big signing. What team was he on previous to this? I don't even remember seeing his name. That's a huge signing. Todd Heap as well is a good signing. Then we got some kickers that were picked up and moved around as well. Huskies re-signing George Blanda as well in that regard. Okay, so that was that. That was signed. Oh, these were just signed. What about re-signed? I don't know if that'll be Aztec. So these were people that I guess were free agents that were not in the league previous. I thought these were all different re-signings. So that was a who's who list of people that weren't in the league. Here's your re-signings so far in the offseason. Hainsworth re-signed. Ed White. See if we get any big names. Pat McAfee is a pretty big name, re-signing to the Lumberjacks. Todd Sauerbrunn as well. David Akers. So far, Jeff Saturday, Larry Zonka going back. Ryan Clady, Jason Elam returning to Atlanta. Morton Anderson. A lot of kickers so far that you're seeing in the mix. Vinatieri. I guess we'll see more of that. And George Blanda, he's getting a big contract there. And these were all that kind of happened. Those ones happened during the season there. No franchise tags, no drafted, any trades. So here's released players. These are all preseason releases. So, right? Or no, these are off-season releases. Okay. So these are released players. So Mark Ingram released. Baker Mayfield released in Chicago. How about that? The Redwoods fire Anthony Lynn. They actually did that at the end. So are you telling me that the whole run that the Redwoods went on was without their coach? No, week 20 would have been during the playoffs, right? That's unbelievable. Something must have happened there because I realized they had a collapse of epic proportions from 8-2 to 8-8, but they still made it to the conference championship. Wow. So they, I guess, feeling like they underperformed. Anthony Lynn fired. Ron Rivera fired in Orlando. Doug Marrone fired in North Florida. And I guess some other releases that these happened during the preseason. Wow, that one kind of shocks me right there. Anthony Lynn out after that run. So here's the retirees. And this is where I changed older players like Brady and Rodgers. I put their age way down, but they still have like 20-year careers. But they're not on the retirement list. So this one shocks me. After winning a championship, 8 years, Randy White, he hangs it up. He's out of there. Steve Christie as well. He's going to call it quits. Mark Gastineau as well. He's going to go out there. Marshall Yanda is gone. Dominic Rogers Cromartie. The Cromartie is right. He's got to go. Doug Martin. He's going to retire as well. We have Robbie Gould, who's retiring. Greg Olson, Dustin Colquitt, Everson Griffin, Graham Gano, Sam Cunningham, Delaney Walker, and John Ryan. So some notable names, but I would dare say not anything that's kind of jump off the page at you there. I need to go in and make Ocho Cinco one word instead of two. So anyway, and the draft class that we're using is the WWE roster, which I don't know. Again, is there a better draft class? We've kind of already imported it, so you're going to see some funny WWE names out there for a year. I don't know any other draft class. You can maybe do a future draft class, or maybe we can do like an NBA Legends draft class. Is there anything like that, or an ML? Let's do WWE, and then maybe in years future we'll look for like an NBA or an MLB draft class there. So that was that, and let's sim ahead to the draft, and we'll see any other kind of big signings or anything before, I imagine, in the transactions, as we get you all prepped here for season number 2. While that's simulating, we'll give you a chance to follow along with us while you got a couple of moments. We're simulating. Follow, support, subscribe, all our different social medias here. We'd really appreciate it. The more support we get, the more content and action we can continue to bring your way. So, as always, we thank you for your support here. And, help it out. Help out a channel grow. You can be on the ground of helping a channel grow or a channel regrow, I suppose, from where we are. So here we go. Let's take a look at the recap of, let's see, any big, and look at this. There were not actually that many free agents that happened that signed. So, or is this, this is league signings. Here we go. So either way, still not too many big names that moved around. So you're going to see a lot of the same roster going into season 2, which was kind of what I was hoping for. I kind of wanted to see that because I know going into season 3, if we do go to a new game, it's going to be harder to mimic that. But you can kind of see, no real big names, kind of some offensive linemen. I mean, Merriman is a decently big name there, but nothing too big. Now, did that result in any releases? Let's look and see if the lack of free agency resulted in anybody getting hit the bricks here. And no, we did not. So, okay, well, good stuff there. So there you go on that. And then we are going to simulate the draft as well and see what WWE superstars went where. So we'll do WWE, and if we do a third season here on this game, then maybe we can bring in like a major league. Would that be weird? I mean, this is the Legends, but would it be weird to bring in like baseball legends or something like that? So draft recap, can we look at everybody in the league, or is it only going to show your players? So we have to go like one by one. Oh, no, we can go NFL, right? Okay, so your number 1 overall pick to the Elks, Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns, the linebacker, putting the pads back on. He is going to Salt Lake City with the Elks. Your number 2 pick, Drew McIntyre, the tight end, going to the New England Nightmare. Daryl Boggs, don't know who that is, but he's the number 3 pick. He signed with the Wizards. McHugh, a center, we'll go through the whole first round, and then maybe we'll just brush over all the other rounds. Jordan Marsh, he is with the, I don't know what their overalls here. They're not showing them, so I don't know. Oh, there you see 70. I don't even know. These guys, they probably won't even see playing time because their overalls are so low here. I would have thought maybe this draft class, they would have rated them higher, but you probably won't even see a lot of these players play because the 90 legends are still up there. So let's just see if we get any big wrestler names. Kevin Owens, there you see getting drafted there. Paul Show Wright going to Pittsburgh. Do they have his size in here? Do they have, he's a left tackle. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see any other, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a fullback. He's going to be going to San Francisco. Randy Orton, a tight end. I think these are pretty, if these were the positions, if these wrestlers were going into football, this would be the position that they would be playing. Orton going to Tennessee. Brock Lesnar, defensive tackle, right? Come on, number 69. He's going to Dublin. He hates travel, so that's going to be rough for him. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, middle linebacker. I don't know if I'd see Triple H as a middle linebacker. I don't know. Maybe. He's going to Oklahoma City. They got the long blonde hair as well. We got Matt Hardy, tight end, going to Chicago. Elias Sampson, the drifter, tight end, going to the Armadillos. And Rey Mysterio. Look at that. He's the number. So Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns, the first picks in the first and second round. If that is a Raw or SmackDown draft, that's a top tier. By the way, Casey McDowell is going to the championship team. Let's see. AJ Styles going to New England. Bobby Lashley, the middle linebacker, to the Wizards here. Sheamus going to Memphis. Bret Hart, a quarterback. I can see Bret Hart being a quarterback, absolutely. So Bret Hart, he's got a tough competition now. He's rated 86, so he's up there, but he's got to compete with that kind of crowded room with Troy Aikman and Boomer Esiason. Alexander Rusev going to the Dragons there. We're officially naming them the Dragons. If you missed it, patreon.com/TBSports27. Samoa Joe, he's going to North Florida. He spent some time in Florida. Jeff Hardy. These are perfect positions. These are all the positions I would picture these guys being in. Shawn Michaels, there you go. The Miz, wide receiver. Jimmy Uso going to San Fran. Rikishi Fatu, defensive tackle, the big man, going to Philadelphia. Cesaro, the big tight end, in Dublin, joining Brock Lesnar out there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from Miami. He's hitting up Atlanta, the Dirty Birds here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a Bray Wyatt or anything. Luke Gallows and Aleister Black. Jey Uso going to Tampa. Luke Harper, Finn Balor. I don't know these other names unless they're using like real names. Finn Balor going to Austin. Tucker Knight. My goodness. King Ricochet going to the 15-1 squad. Shinsuke Nakamura. He's headed to St. Louis. And Ivar Raider. Wow, great name. Am I missing like some joke with these other ones? Drew Valentine. Brendan, like, these aren't like real guys, right? If I'm missing the joke, let me know. Like Darius Finley, that's not anybody. All right, we'll kind of get through this a little bit more. And then we'll preview Seth Rollins, so a quarterback there. They're loading up. So the Elks load up on Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, and Roman Reigns. Come on, Dolph Ziggler going to the Nightmare. Like I said, these are Mustafa Ali there. I don't know Mario Sweet. See if these are real guys or not. Not sure. Buddy Murphy to Pittsburgh. What? Why Baron Corbin dumbass? Why? Why they name him that? Braun Strowman there. Matthew Oldham. Desmond Saunders. Carl Anderson. R-Truth. Daniel Bryan. He can join Cesaro and Brock Lesnar out there. Xavier Woods, Kofi, they get the New Day getting drafted back to back there. Mark Taker Calloway. That looks just like The Undertaker, too, with the long hair. That's crazy. Eric Rader of the Viking Raiders. Booker T. Huffman. Yes, sir. And I don't know if we have too many more. Titus O'Neil, late draft pick there. Curtis Axel as well. Cedric Alexander, Sami Zayn, Razor Payne, Authors of Pain, Kalisto Lucha, Lindsay Dorado, Leo Rush. He's going to be small. He's wide receiver, so he got to be speedy. Eric Rowan, Zack Ryder. All right. So I'll kind of just go quick. I don't want to waste time going through every one of these, but you can obviously pause and go one by one. Did I see like Vince McMahon in here, or did I just like... There's Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin went late. Vince Hoffman. That's what I thought I saw as Vince McMahon. I'm seeing some obvious other names here, but you guys can slow it down. There's Apollo Crews, poor guy getting drafted late. You guys can slow this down on your own, go one by one, and see who kind of went where. Because I don't even know most of these guys. I mean, Bret Hart, I can see maybe getting a shot because he's in that 80 range. But I said, I don't know if I'm missing a joke with some of these or not. Like Lawrence Leary, is that somebody I should know or not? Either way, there you go. That was the draft. And now we are going to force the advance to next week. And we should be pretty close to looking at the schedule. I don't know. Should we do preseason at all? Should we do like 1 or 2 preseason games? So you guys should see some backups, or do you guys just want to go right to the regular season and kind of see what we got going on here? What do you guys think? Well, I said we were going to speed it up, so maybe we will. Oh, these are preseason. I was like, what the heck is all these Friday games? If we were to do the preseason, we'd probably do the Huskies and the Desperados. You know what? Let's just preseason. We're going to skip past it, and then we're going to look at the final rosters, and we're going to give you a look at what your first two. Maybe we'll give you a look at the whole. Let's do the whole Thursday Night Football schedule so you guys will know what's coming up. Sim to regular season, and you guys will know exactly what games you're going to get on Patreon. The entire Thursday night package will be on Patreon, and then we'll look at the Monday Night Football package as well. So we'll do that. We'll also look and see if there's any big roster changes are happening, which I don't think there have been. So while that is loading, again, consider following. If you want to follow Season 2 of the RXFL, consider signing up, following, supporting the channel, Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, all those different places. We go live on Twitch. That's where you can chat, you can interact with us. Patreon is where you get all the Twitch replays early and ad-free. You get exclusive content. You're going to get the Thursday Night Football package, so 17 exclusive games that is going to be coming to our Patreon page. We upload all of our Twitch we split them up into 30-minute videos and throw them all up on YouTube, so subscribe on YouTube for that. You get a new video every day at noon, so sign up, hit the thumbs up, help support the channel there. You can tweet, interact with us on Twitter. We usually tweet when we're going live, and you can really help support the channel in a big way. We'll read out your Ko-Fi donation on air if we're live and you donate something, and if we're not on air, we'll make sure we read it out next time. How's that sound? But you can really help support the channel in such a way. So do consider supporting, and if you're not able to give or what in such a way, subscribing, thumbs upping on videos, that helps in such a huge way as well. So here we go. We are now at the season. Let's see now. Let's look at any injuries we got from the preseason that we may need to be aware of. Can we look at the entire league? We cannot. So we see Walt Michaels with an abdominal tear. Sherwin McLean. So far, no big names yet that is kind of would maybe scare somebody going into the regular season here. I wish let's just see everything at once. Hunter Henry, that's going to be a pretty devastating blow. That broken tailbone out for most of the season. That's a rough preseason injury. Andre Johnson as well, going to miss a portion of the season. Injured. We have Dishman. I don't know if that's too big of a loss. There is an 81. Wow. How about that? So you got Billy Sims, who's your backup. He's going to miss the first 5 weeks. And C.J. Mosley, who played such a big part in the Huskies championship win. But you know what? A lot of Husky players were injured, including Lamar Jackson, including Biletnikoff in the championship game. And you know what? They rallied and got the win. So they may be okay. Seeing some of the other kind of names come across here. Decently big names, but nothing that's kind of like, oh my God, not like a Tom Brady or anything like that. That's a pretty rough loss right there. Fred Dean, 13 weeks, going down injured. Who's the Redwoods' new coach? We'll have to maybe look at the transactions there. Otis Armstrong. Okay, so definitely some people got banged up in the preseason, but nothing that I would say is going to kind of like jump out as like, oh my god, that's kind of a killer right there. I think these are all just kind of scrubby scrub players. Oh my god, we gotta go. Whoa, whoa, some of these releases, hold on now. Some of these releases are big. Wait a minute, okay. That might lead to some signings here. So guys that got cut. Courtney Brown. Joe Morris got cut. Devin McCourty. John Kelly is out of there. Troy Aikman gets cut. The Voyagers did not want to deal with the controversy. Last season, it was Troy Aikman and it was Boomer Esiason. The controversy. They did not want to deal with that for a second year. Is somebody going to pick up Troy Aikman? Troy Aikman has played in the Revolution League. He has played in this league. He played with the Rhinos. He played with the Oklahoma City Bandits. I mean, he's had some runs now. Oh my God, that's I don't know, guys. That's kind of a shocker right there. What do you guys think? Troy Aikman, he's out of there. Wow. I'm just trying to think. I mean, he had the run with the Bandits that was good, and then he went to the Rhinos, got traded back to the Wow. Aikman's out there. Oh, go back. Crap. NFL, okay, I guess we gotta go through it again. Okay, so Aikman's out. Bo Scarborough out. Phillip Rivers released. So that's interesting. Bret Hart, you might get to see Bret the Hitman actually play with the Voyagers. That's kind of funny there. Any other big names kind of jumping out at you? I mean, these are all names, obviously, but like a Troy Aikman is kind of a big one that that sticks out with you. Like, oh my God, right? So far, nothing else. Didn't they just re-sign him, Tripucka? So he's gone. Okay, so nothing else is kind of a shocker. I think that's your biggest of your preseason cuts right there is Troy Aikman. Maybe he had a bad preseason. And the rest of these, they don't even have anyone. Yeah, so nothing too major there. As far as... I don't know how we see, like, the coach. How we can see what coach they picked up. I guess these are other kind of free agents that were signed. It's worth maybe looking at. We can see if there was a coach. I'll go through these kind of fast because we're already kind of hitting the 30-minute mark. And gosh darn, I want to go watch NXT. So you can kind of see a lot of them are just kickers. Bobby Joe, I thought it was Mean Joe Green. But kickers and such, Groza, Scobie. So it was mainly a lot of kickers and punters that you kind of saw move around here as far as big names. Ray Guy, he actually was with the Firebirds in Omaha for many, it looks like Josh Rosen there, huh? For many years. So he's coming back. Scott Player as well. Greg Zerline, Greg the Leg. These are all drafts, Finn Balor and such. Can we get before the draft? Because I want to see what coach. Well, that did say signed. Would that have been like a coaching? Maybe I need to just go to the team instead of going through everybody. We can actually see what coach. Does it tell you what coach they went with? Can we? I don't know. I guess can we go to the team and see? They don't tell us what coach signed with them. Or I can figure out what coach. But that was probably the biggest, was the Troy Aikman and then Ron Rivera. So the coach, he got fired with the Wizards. Ron Rivera is now with the is now in charge of the Redwoods. Wow, okay. So now let's look at the Wizards, because it was the Wizards and who else? Was it the Cheetahs that fired their coach? Cannot tell who that is. If you can tell who that is, let me know. Let me know in the comments, because I can't tell. I can tell Ron Rivera right out the bat. And then let's see, who did the North Florida Cheetahs pick up here? And that looks like Anthony Lynn right there. So he looks like he went to North Florida. So, okay. So just kind of a quarterback carousel or a coach carousel shuffle right there. That's kind of all the big stuff. I think we capped everything. Not seeing anybody else, any big names. Okay, real quick, I'm not going to go through everything, but I want to see the depth chart because I want to see any kind of moving and shaking as far as quarterbacks. There weren't any big names. Lamar's still there. Looked like most guys kind of signed like a third quarterback or what have you. So Brady is still there. Dan Fouts, and then there's Delhomme, who they had just picked up. The Elks with Staubach, Winston, and they're going to have Seth Rollins in the mix as well. Andrew Luck still there. The other one I wanted to look at, so there's Rodgers. McNabb could get some playing time if Rodgers doesn't shape up here. Steve Young still got a grasp on the starting job there. So does Peyton Manning. I don't think Roman Gabriel's taking him out anytime soon. Aviators still Montana. I know they kind of signed some guys in there. And they're pretty well off with Michael Vick, so no change there. The Wizards still with Carson Wentz, Cordell Stewart, Josh Freeman. So the Voyagers, they're riding with Boomer, but Bret Hart is right behind. The rookie Bret the Hitman Hart with the opportunity here. We'll see what Jim Kelly can get going. And there was their new signing in Earl Morrill. Titans, they are maybe going to go with Kurt Warner again over Kenny Stabler. Could be a debate there. But Kurt Warner looks like right now named the starter. Sid Luckman as well. Kind of the old school roster there. Otto Graham, still Doug Williams. So those are kind of all your big. Nothing else really, I think, jumping out at me just yet. So everything's pretty on the up and up. They still got Deshaun Watson and company. So, okay, so that's what I kind of want to look at. Now to finally round this one out, we are going to look at the entire Thursday night football schedule, the second half Monday night football schedule, and then we're going to give you the first game of the week here for week one. So if you want to know what the format's going to be, check out part 2 of the Ultra Bowl. We go through all of that. So here we go. So week 1, they don't give us any Thursday. They do give us a Thursday night game. So the Celtic Tigers and the Huskies. So look at that. We are kicking things off with the championship team. Every Thursday night game is going to be exclusive to Patreon. 17 Thursday night games going up on our Patreon. Sign up. We're going to do that for you there. So Thursday night, kicking it off, Celtic Tigers and the defending champs, the Huskies. And then your game of the week, which we'll have to go back and decide later. So we'll do that another. God, I'm going to have to scroll down on every one of these. It's going to be annoying. So then your next Thursday night game is the San Antonio Dragons and the Benjamins. A lot of hype around them. The New England Nightmare and the Toronto Huskies. So again, your championship team going to be on Patreon for that week. We have the North Florida Cheetahs. You got the old ball coach going against his old team, taking on the Redwoods. These are all going to be on Patreon now. We're going to film them and put them up on Patreon. So this is a pretty big, pretty stacked Thursday night football lineup here. Voyagers and the Nightmare could be interesting depending on who's quarterback for that week for the Voyagers. The Aftershock and the Wolverines. Wolverines, solid team last season. We'll see what the Aftershocks can do. Aftershocks and the Vegas Firebirds coming in on a Thursday night battle. And then the Brooklyn Beats and the Tennessee Oilers. So here's where we introduce our Monday night package. And this is where we'll stream every Monday night game as a second game, as long as it's the good game. If not, we'll flex it out. Aftershocks and Golden Eagles, you're getting a lot of San Diego on Patreon. And then your first Monday night game is the San Francisco Demons going up against the Aviators. So San Francisco versus Joe Montana in that one, in your first game there. Then you got the London Bulldogs and the LA Kiss. And your Monday night game, the Shamrocks and the Celtic Tigers. So it's going to be very Celtic themed there. Voyagers and North Florida. That has the potential to be a terrible Thursday night game, but that's the game they're giving us. And then this should be a good one. The Desperados and the St. Louis Rhinos. That ought to be a fantastic ball game there. This is the Thanksgiving run of games. So maybe we do like both of these, or we can do them both. I don't know. Maybe we do both of them, or we pick one or the other. Because Thanksgiving, you gotta take that into account here. There should be 3 Thanksgiving games, right? Kiss and Lancers and Golden Eagles and Wolverines should be good. Then your Monday night game, Cougars and Firebirds. Then we got the Nightmare and the Dirty Birds. So you got Tom Brady going up against New England. Should be interesting. And then your Monday night game, that ought to be a great one. There's the dream match we didn't get a year ago. You're going to get it in season 2. Michael Vick versus Lamar Jackson, Armadillos, Huskies. That ought to be absolutely fantastic. Season 2 is going to be fun. Another, I don't know why we're getting so many Voyagers Cheetahs games, but that could also be a disaster there on Thursday night. But we're going to give it to you. Even if it's terrible, it's part of the package. That's what you're getting. And then Monday night should be good. Tom Brady taking on another former team going up against the Tampa Bay Mutiny. Now, again, we are also going to pick one other game as part of the game of the week as well. Lumberjacks and Firebirds could be a good one as well. Lumberjacks always good. Aviators, Desperados. They played in week 1 last season. Was a fantastic game on both division teams. The Wolverines and the Beats could be a good one. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Theismann going toe-to-toe. And then Monday night, the Celtic Tigers and the Lancers. And then week 17, there is no Thursday night game. So you get 16 Thursday night games, and there's no Monday night games. So this is, I guess, week 17 where we can just pick whatever the heck we want to kind of round it out. So that's your package. I think it's a pretty solid lineup of games. I don't know any... we can run through the 4th week of preseason if anyone cares about that. We'll do preseason one of these times just to kind of throw it out there. But I think it's a pretty solid package. Now, all the Thursday night games, 16 of them, exclusive, patreon.com/tvsports27. We're going to do all 16 Thursday night games. We're going to do a game of the week from week 1 to week 17. And then from week 9 onward, we will do the Monday night football game. So let's pick the week 1 game of the week. Now, our champions are going to be on Thursday night. So we got to look through here. What game do you guys want to see? Voyagers and Sting? I don't think so. Armadillos? No. Bulldogs, Lancers, Monarchs, Elks, Oilers? No. Let's see. Lumberjacks, Kiss and Marshalls, Aftershocks, Rhinos. That could be maybe to see both the defending championship teams. Aviators, Redwoods could also be really interesting. That's a primetime one. Wolverines and Golden Eagles as well. I mean, 2 top teams. And then Dirty Birds, Demons. I think just to see the defending champs, I think this is what we're going to go for week 1. Now, again, it's going to be a while from now. We're going to take a couple months off here from doing it. But you're going to get Dublin and Toronto on Patreon on Thursday. And then your game of the week, the St. Louis Rhinos and the San Diego Aftershocks. That is the RXFL Season 2 coming your way to the channel. Thank you guys so much. We streamed for 3 hours tonight, which is kind of rare for a Tuesday, and this entire stream is going to go up early and ad-free on our Patreon page. Subscribe, follow, so you don't miss another stream. You don't miss a second of the action. That was Season 1 of the RXFL. And we're coming back in Season 2, Dublin, Toronto, St. Louis, San Diego. We'll see you then, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in.